beers. Bloody
Beers on the piss.
And welcome back to the Bloody Brilliant Beers podcast, brought to you by Better.
That's Clutzys Japan. We are the Bloody Brilliant Beers. We started out reviewing craft beers on Facebook, and now we bring you the conversations that you'd more than likely hear from the front bar at your local. And where are we today, Clutzy?
Once again, the Caxton Hotel. It is a fucking phenomenal day up here, living and loving life.
Yep, it is. This is our On The Piss podcast where Clutzy and I just sit down, have a beer, catch up, and talk shit for about an hour or so. And geez, we've got some catching up to do today.
I was going to say about an hour.
Yeah.
We'll probably see you in 3 days' time.
Yeah. This might be the longest podcast ever recorded.
I did make a joke to Caitlin about I could do a day-by-day recap and we could literally have a 20-day series.
Yep.
You
did so much shit though, so I don't doubt that
Oh my
you could.
God, we did.
Mate, you do a day-by-day recap when you fucking sit on your couch for the weekend and do nothing, and you just spend every day touring around the whole of Japan for 20 days.
I think we literally did at least 12 to 14 hours of proper touristy work every day.
Yeah, crazy.
And that was at an absolute minimum.
Yeah.
It was fucking insane.
Yep. How was it?
Mate, it was.
I really haven't heard how Clutzy's trip was. We decided not to talk about it yesterday.
I've tried not to tell you heaps. I've told you some things.
Yeah, we chatted a bit while you were over there, so I know bits and pieces. But
I just went back through, had a little look, re-jogged the memory. It was incredible. So my missus started planning she's been wanting to go to Japan since we fucking started dating. But last year we were like, fuck it, let's just go at the end of the year, should be good. She put so much effort into it. There's literally a Google Docs document.
Clutzy showed me, it was crazy.
And it's like this, she had it planned out what date she needed to have accommodation booked by, when she wanted to have different things booked, all this sort of shit. Did a lot of research on what she wanted to do, food-wise, attractions-wise, boring shit-wise, how we get around. So she put so much effort into it. She asked me to help, and a lot of times I wasn't keen. And I was like, you just do whatever the fuck you want to do, and I'll be there. To which she was a little bit nervous about, being like, what if something's shit? If I've planned something shit, I was like, look, I don't think it's going to be. The whole point is going over and experiencing different stuff. We were a perfect combination over there. She did all the planning, and then I'd be like, all right.
You did all the eating and drinking?
I did all the eating and drinking, correct. But we'd be like, okay, where are we going to get to today? I'd be like, righto, chuck it in maps. This is the train we're catching, platforms, all this sort of shit.
Train leaves at this time.
And my sense of direction, I wasn't sure how it would go overseas in a country where they use katakana instead of English. But fuck me, I was pretty happy with nailing little spots and where we were. So I always sort of knew where we were and how to get back to places. She did not. It was literally like I was traveling with Darcy.
Yeah, Clutzy be used to it.
Except I could route not as much.
You know what's funny on the topic of sense of direction? Much less entertaining story, but I was away in Melbourne on the weekend with one of our friends, good friend of the show, Tractor, Scott Ferguson, one of the funniest cunts I've ever met in my life. He just does this thing where he goes, he'll be like, we're getting picked up from an Uber, or his girlfriend picks up from the airport. He's like, we just got to go west, and turns right. And one time when we got off the plane, so we got to go west, and tell him, I was like, that's not west. He's like, dude, I've been saying that to you all weekend. He just says a direction and then picks a random direction. He's like, no one ever questions you. They just assume you know so much.
That's so funny. I love that. I need to start employing that myself.
It's quite good.
That is great. All right, so took off on the 30th. Now, had a pretty good flight over with Jetstar.
The Orange Gamble.
The Orange Gamble. And fuck, it was a gamble. But that's okay. We love them. It is what it is. But on the flight over, it was great. I actually played so much of this golf game, but it was that old and shit that it was so laggy. But I was so determined to it literally reminded me of the Simpsons putting game. The putting challenge.
I think I've seen people play that.
My God, it really fucked me off when you play 18 holes and you hit it so well, and then you get to the putting stage and it just sends it.
Impossible.
Yeah. It was so fucked, but geez, I had some fun with it. But we flew into Osaka. Oh, thank you, Melty Kiss. Now, just for the people playing at home, on the Monday or the Tuesday show this week, I got Das a bunch of chocolates. This one here that we're about to pop into our mouths is the Meiji Strawberry Marble Melty Kiss.
Delicious.
It's absolutely incredible.
Especially white chocolate with a bit of strawberry mix through it. Now,
and you get 10 little mini blocks in them. There was also a caramel one that was pretty good, but this is the better one. One night, way later in the trip, this is where my obsession was peak. Caitlin was asleep. I was waiting for the washing to finish. I was like, fuck, an early day. I could pound through 10 of those like that.
Yeah.
Because I had 2 at a time and I was like, that's great. Then I had 3. I was like, this is even better. I was like, what happens if I get all 10 in my mouth and just let them melt? Phenomenal. One of the best chocolates. It is a flavor sensation. But flew over into Osaka, got off the plane, and I was a little bit like overwhelmed. I was just like,
Culture shock.
a little bit of culture shock because it is quite confronting
Happens in Asia.
when you can't see A to Z and you just see fucking, you know, rah, ree, roo, rat, and roll.
Can't see west.
Can't see west. Can't see anything. So we're going through, lovely people come out, and I'm like, holy fuck, how do we get to Osaka from here? And I was like, geez, I've held this in for a while and did this fart, which I thought would come out silent. It was so loud and stunk so bad. And I was like,
That doesn't sound like you.
and then I went to Caitlin because I was just like, oh my God. I was like, oh fuck, we got to get out of here. And I looked behind me, there's a group of 5 Aussie blokes and they are just pissing themselves laughing.
You would have been doing these ones. Not that you can see it on the Spotify, but if you're on YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah, literally.
Looking around, swinging your arms around.
But I was just like, oh, fuck. Okay, we got to go up there. It's like these guys are just all laughing. They're like, geez, mate, the crop dust and go. I was like, oh, yeah. And I just had so much head noise. So bolted to the train. We got on the train. It was about a 45-minute trip into Namba, which was near where we were staying. And I'm sitting on this, like, it was like in San Fran where everything, in Sydney where everything's so far underground. Excuse me. They've got so many different rail lines. Like, it's pretty sick how it all works. I downloaded this Suica card and you just load it up with yen and you can tap onto any railway system. It's so fucking good. It was so handy. But get down there and we're sitting on this train and I look behind me and there's another train and it's all decked out in Hello Kitty. So they've got all these like themed trains. So ones I saw over there was like Hello Kitty. They had all these like Expo ones. There was a fucking Thomas the Tank Engine train.
That makes sense.
That was pretty fucking cool.
You would have been like the fat controller.
Yeah, I was like the fat controller. But it was pretty cool. They had all these different trains and shit. But we got off to Namba, got off at the train, got off the train station there. And fuck me, there was a lot of people on the train. Walked down. Caitlin's obviously like blonde, white chick. I'm quite tall. There's these 3 Japanese girls who are just maggot. And they spot us and they're like, whoa, like going off. And then pointing to Caitlin's hair, pointing to me being tall. And they just asked if they could have a photo. So I was like, literally the first Japanese people we see outside of the airport are getting photos with us. Is this a sign of things to come? Sort of was, sort of wasn't.
Clutzy told me that and I was thinking, like, how big would a bloke have to be in Australia before you asked him for a photo? Like,
yeah.
Fucking massive.
Like really fucking tall.
Like 9 foot.
I genuinely felt like a giant over there.
Like I've seen big cunts walk past and go, fuck, that's a cunt.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
Well, you're not going to go get a photo with him.
No.
It'd have to be like honestly, you wouldn't believe it that they were that tall.
There was a lady walking past me in Tokyo who, no joke, would have been as high as my hip.
Yeah.
Like that is, I believe that is small.
Yeah.
That is fucking small. But yeah, so we got off there. They have these things there called gacha. You ever heard of gacha?
No.
It's all these little machines. You know how we have those random lottery machines where you put like $2 in and you get a toy?
Yep.
They are obsessed with them over there. You get like keychains, plush toys, just little plastic ones. And I'd heard a lot about these gacha. So I was looking out for initially I saw a Pokemon one and was like, fuck it, I'll just chuck it in and see what I get. Didn't realize it wasn't a keychain. I was like, fuck, this is going to be hard to display. So pocket that one. Might not be coming home with me, but that's okay.
What is it? Just like a plastic?
It's literally just a little plastic toy and you get like different ones.
Some of the shit you gave me last night, I thought there's ones with like Nintendo characters on the front.
Yeah.
I thought they were little toys. I opened one last night, like just as I was about to have dinner. I was like, oh, it's chocolate.
Yeah.
Better eat it.
Better eat it.
I did.
It's, everything's branded up like it's fucked. But got all these different gachas while we were over there. But yeah, we decided to walk to the hotel. Didn't take a single taxi or ride share thing. We just used public transport or walk the whole time, which was pretty fucking cool.
Yep.
I think I said to Das yesterday, we're averaging about 21,000 steps a day.
Yeah,
so it was a lot of kilometers in the legs. But we went to the hotel. It's called the Dotonbori Hotel. Now, some of the perks of this place, between the hours of 9 a.m. and 9 p.m., I believe it was, free soft drink in the lobby. Free.
That is outrageous.
Ridiculous. Like,
Yeah.
all the different soft drinks for free.
Like cans, or are we talking post mix?
Post mix.
Yeah, right.
Like
Danger.
really good areas.
Yeah, that would not be good for my waistline.
And then from 3 p.m. till 9 p.m. was free liqueurs and
Oh, get
spirits
fucked.
and beers.
What?
Yeah.
Free beers in your
So
hotel?
it was only like a little plastic cup that you get like a small rum and coke in at the footy. So, but you could go up and get unlimited free piss.
That is outrageous.
Which is outrageous.
After
And-
filling your boots with Coke all day, full strength sugar.
Yeah, exactly. Like really watch me bounce off the wall. Cunt.
Yeah.
And they had like a big thing of Japanese whiskey and
So
like
you
all
would
these
just gone
different
full
liqueurs.
strength Coke, and then towards the end just throw some
Well,
rum in. Oh, 3 p.m. Chuck the
Yeah,
rum
exactly. It's like boom, here we go. So, and it was Asahi as well, so it's not shit beer.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
it's good
good
beer. I think at 8:30 every night before they shut that whole thing down, you could get a free cup of noodles.
Yep.
And I was like, we didn't do that, but I thought, oh yeah, plain noodles, whatever. But no, it was like flavored cup
Yeah.
of noodles and a big bowl of them. Pretty cool. Everyone would sit downstairs and eat them. In the hotel, it was like a little shoebox, but it was perfect because we said to each other, like, we're not going to be spending time in the hotel. We want to just maximize everything.
Yep.
So we got in there and there was the bed shoved up against the wall. There was a little TV. The wall in between the bed and the bathroom was like paper thin. The bathroom was very
Perfect
small.
for Caitlin when you were fucking.
When I'm blowing my ass
Yeah.
out. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was fucked. But yeah, I could hardly fit in the bathroom. Most toilets I had to sit on. Over here, we have like a certain gap you have to have between walls and toilets so you can actually fit on them. Now, post being all the plumbing, I understand why that happens because a lot of times I was on like a 45-degree angle, which somehow the bidets still found my arsehole on that angle.
Unbelievable
which
technology.
was unbelievable. But yeah, so we sort of settled there. We chucked all our shit in and we went, fuck it, like, let's just go and have a look. Now, Osaka, it was insane. We got outside at like 10 p.m., 10:30. Busiest place. Everything's still open. Most places shut at 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. That's restaurants included. Like, people just go out. And the one thing that wigged me out with Japan was nothing opens till 10 a.m. At the earliest. Some places 9.
weird.
If you find somewhere that's open at 7, it's like, who are these people? But
What's
10
wrong with
a.m. is basically when every shop opens.
Sounds like your fucking dream company.
It was.
Company, country.
It was. But we would get into our temple work early in the mornings and whatnot. But we went, fuck it, this is awesome. We can just eat whenever we want. So went to this place, takoyaki, the octopus balls. Not actual octopus balls. I messaged Das and I was like, yeah, we had this takoyaki. It's like octopus balls. And he's like, what? I didn't know octopus had testicles.
I just assumed. I assumed you about eating octopus balls.
I was like, "Cunt."
And then he's like, yeah, they're fries. I was like, oh, that makes sense. They're
Yeah.
just balls of octopus.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes a lot more sense.
But we this joint we went to, it was pretty cool. There's like the Glyco runner guy. I think I tagged you as him in one of my posts.
Yeah,
And he's like, Glyco was or is a confectionery company. And they've just got this huge neon sign of this dude in running gear, and it's iconic in Osaka. It's been there for ages. So we went near there just to check that out, and then saw this little joint that was like a takoyaki place. We're like, fuck it, that's Osaka's thing. Let's go eat there. Went down. I had to like basically get my torso on a right angle to get through the door, or else I would have taken my head off and my shoulders. Like, that's the sort of heights we're talking. Get in there. You actually got to cook it yourself, which is pretty cool. So put all the mixture in. They came and helped you do it.
Castrate the octopus.
Yeah, castrate the octopus, do all that sort of shit. But we're there, and there was this bloke next to us. We think he took this girl on a date. He was maggot, and she was pretty maggot as well. And then he looks around, and he goes, "You're such a big boy." And then the guy behind the counter, he's like, "Oh, big boy, how many weeks till you're due?" And it all came up and like rubbed my gut, and I was like, "This is so funny." But it was a really cool experience, and probably the best takoyaki we had as well. Like, the quality of the octopus they used was fucking awesome. So it was pretty cool. New Year's Eve, we went to this place, and it was like all old electronic stores. and they specialized in like old school Nintendo.
Oh, that's actually so sick.
Dude, you can buy brand new Nintendo 64 controllers and all the old Nintendos. You can buy new controllers because they still play
Did you
them.
get a Game Boy? You should have got a Game Boy.
So I've got a Game Boy back here, and I was like, fuck, I really like. They had all the OG Pokemons, like the original big, thick, square cartridge ones.
I'd love to play Pokemon Gold, eh?
Bro, it'd be fucking awesome, hey.
When I used to play that, I couldn't even read. I remember having to get my mum to read shit to me.
Yeah.
Like, so hard to play when you fucking can't understand what's actually happening.
Yeah, exactly. It's ridiculous, hey. But they had like the proper OG ones, and they called Pokemon over there Pocket Monsters.
Yeah.
So like it was all branded in that. It was pretty cool. We went through that district, went to a castle. That was the first time that we went to like any of the shrines and stuff. Osaka Castle. Incredible to have a look at like how it's all still standing, how it was all built, like how they build all that shit and maintain it is ridiculous. But I was wondering, like they've got these massive rocks and boulders that they've obviously formed into walls. Like if this thing's built in the 1200s, how many cunts are you getting to pull these rocks and
like
shit?
The pyramids of Egypt.
It's fucking crazy. Surely aliens and shit. We can get into that on another podcast, but it was pretty sick. We then went to this place and we called it possibly the best ramen we had the whole time. Very up there. It ended up not being the best ramen we had. It was our second, but like we had to wait for ages. Everywhere in Osaka, you had to wait to get in. So you're standing out in the cold waiting to get inside. But once you did, like they take your order in the line, so that pretty much once you sit down, it's ready. It's insane. But like all the shops, there's only like fucking anywhere between 6 to 20 people. Like a so small majority of them. But the ramen was insane. Like I've had ramen back here, and whenever Caitlin suggested to me or people suggested to me, let's go get ramen, I'm like, like I don't really want to drink flavored water.
Yeah. It's not my vibe either.
Over there, I was like, oh yeah, fuck it, we'll give it a go. It was my favorite food because it is so different. Like they actually, it's not packaged mix. It's all fucking, like they do their own broths themselves. So that was tasty as fuck. New Year's was sort of scat. We didn't really know what to do because it's not as big a thing there. We went walking around this other district and we kept running into these two Aussie blokes. And we ran into them at New Year's on this bridge near the Glyco guy. It was just all these people standing there. It counted down to 0. Everyone cheered. And then 2 minutes later, the place was like clear.
Really?
So we were like, oh, okay, that's New Year's.
Yeah,
so we just went
yeah.
home. And these dudes, like we saw them 4 times that day and maybe once the day before. They're like, oh, well, we'll probably run into you tomorrow. Good to see you. Like we'll catch up. We could probably have some drinks. Never saw him again. So
that's what I thought. That
and we were talking about how it'd be sick to go like just meet these dudes
have a
and
beer with them.
Have a beer with them, and never saw him again. So that was really nice.
Shout out to those guys. Hopefully they're listening.
Yeah, hopefully they're doing well. New Year's Day, went to the Osaka Aquarium. Now I was in my fucking element there. It was just this huge building and they had like all different segments from around the world, as most aquariums do. But it's sick going to a place where they're on the Arctic Ring of Fire, I think they call it, where essentially like there's always earthquakes and shit happening in Japan because they're right on the edge of the tectonic plates. And because of that, there's like all these different aquatic environments and shit. So you get some really unique ocean life. Like the crabs there were fucking creepy as, different looking dolphins. Everything looked fucking different.
Looking dolphins.
Yeah, dolphins like not like what we get here. They were like
the hammer.
Not like the hammer. They could not score tries.
Yeah,
that's all I'll say about that. But one thing that did happen, and I thought it was quite funny, is that we had the Chockies boys on the pod, and we were talking about how hammerhead sharks aren't around anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
Get to this.
Did we ever get to the bottom of that,
bro? Well, I'm not sure, but since that's been said, I saw there's probably like 6 or 7 of those hammerhead sharks like in an aquarium, so obviously not out in the wild, but I was like, they are still there. There was grey nurse sharks as well, which I brought up as one of my favourites.
Woodgate, wasn't there?
And there was a hammerhead at Woodgate the other day, but it was dead. It was huge, but
still real.
That's the thing, like they're still out there. They're just fucking smart cunts and don't get caught.
I don't remember having the conversation about the hammerheads not existing, but like I also don't doubt that we did
had
have
that
it,
conversation.
and I've just not remembered it. Yeah. Because I can remember direct lines from the Austin Powers movie watching when I was 6, but I can't remember conversations we had last week. Yeah. So it's good signs.
Yeah, so that's all right.
Yeah.
That's fine. So yeah, but the aquarium was really cool. Went and checked all that out. One devastating thing though, next door was Legoland. Didn't get to go to Legoland.
Really?
You know why?
Why?
To go into Osaka Legoland,
you have to sign up 8 months in advance. Something done.
no, you have to have a kid with you.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, like this is a real like grow up moment. But also,
which you probably choose to ignore.
I went,
fuck him.
Fuck that. So yeah, I chose to ignore that and said fuck you. But walking past and just seeing all these people there with their small children about to go and experience the wonder that is Lego, fuck, I was jealous.
Would you almost say grumpy?
I could say I was quite grumpy, yes. I was quite grumpy at that prospect.
The annoying thing was you didn't even have any grumpy coffee to
No, exactly.
turn that frown upside down and bring you back from the jaws of jealousy.
Exactly.
But the good news is the people at Grumpy Coffee, they're still running their sale. They're still running the sale.
They are. Fuck, that was well done.
Thank you, mate. There's 25% off everything at grumpycoffee.com.au. But not only that, the legends at Bloke in a Bar, who power Grumpy Coffee, are also doing 50% off all their merch. I think their baggy green bloke hats sold out, but there's heaps of other merch on bloke.shop, 50% off. There's some cricket stuff, so make sure you get around it.
Get around it.
Clutzys home. His frown's upside down. He can go to Legoland in Chermside or the airport. I don't even know where the other ones are, but I'm sure you do. You freak.
Yeah. Yeah, fucking I. But yeah, that was a bit of a dampener. But I did know that going into it. I just didn't know I'd be walking past the cunt. We went to this shopping centre. I forgot exactly the name of it, but they're like a chain. It's like their version of a Westfield. And there's a reason why I forgot, because on their websites, they said they were open. But when you're a young man, a young 29, soon to be 30-year-old man wanting to go to the Pokémon Centre, and you rock up there and the whole fucking shopping centre is closed, you do get quite upset. And then when you go the next day to another one, it's closed, and the day after it's still closed, but it says it's open on the website, you go, fuck you, shopping centre that's green starting with a D. I fucking hate you. So we made the most of it, went to another place, checked out some shit, went back home, and ended up getting maggot. 7-Elevens and all the convenience stores over there. Now, when you say 7-Eleven over here or a Night Owl or something like that, you go, dear overpriced shit. When you say convenience store, they are convenient, but they're fucked. When you go to a convenience store in Japan, it is like the mecca of fucking food and drink. It is so fucking awesome. First one I walked into, they had all these egg sandwiches, and I was like, okay, it's a little bit weird that the egg sandwich is the most popular. Like, I like my egg and lettuce sandwiches.
I don't trust them sitting in a, like, I'd never get them from a 7-Eleven here.
Yeah. Over
Never.
there, it's just, they are the tastiest things. I'm going to try and recreate what they do with the egg. I've even Googled it and everything. They get the yolk and they get mayo and they whip it up into a paste, and then they chop up the white egg and add it, so you got little bits of chunk in there, and then you just literally put it on the bread, and it's the most delicious thing I've ever had.
Yeah, right.
I then made like the combo where you went egg sandwich, fried chicken, egg sandwich. All of them had these like fried chicken bits that were like crack, like just so tasty. I'm fucking pounding into those. Later on, we met someone who she told us they were the OG Sando. Like that's the OG Sando is to do that. It reminded me of when we discovered that a pizza rounder could go in between a chicken burger at school.
Sensational times.
Coming back to
a good time.
It was a great time. So now coming back to Australia, I've had that ripped away from me, so it felt like I was in year 10 all over again.
When they brought the dietitian into the tuck shop at school.
Exactly. When they said, look at you little fat cunts, you need to be healthy. Oh, fuck
They got
you.
us too late though, didn't they?
Oh, fuck yeah. Look at me now.
Yeah. Like if we're a couple of years earlier, we would have been fine.
We would have been sweet. I could have been playing for the Wallabies.
Yeah, exactly. On the topic, how maggot do you reckon you got with your missus on holiday?
Not all.
Because like if me and you went to Japan, most nights would be pissed.
Yeah.
And like there'd be a few nights where we'd be too pissed, like very pissed. But when I travel with my missus, maybe
I hardly
once,
drank.
Yeah.
We'd have like a beer or something at dinner.
But you don't like fucking...
The spontaneous 7-Eleven maggot night happened where we got a couple of the half-litre strongs. You know Suntory 196 is here? I don't know, what are they, like $50, $60 for a 10-pack? for a half a litre one out of a convenience store that you can then drink on the street with was $2.12.
That's stupid.
So we were just like going to different convenience stores and we'd try a new one.
New flavours.
Try a new one.
Flavour sensation.
All of a sudden you've had fucking 9%, 2 litres worth of 9% drink.
Yeah.
As well as a whole bunch of other shit. And you're just like, oh, okay, I'm maggot.
Yeah.
So we just got a bit stupid, ran through the streets of Osaka, went to Don Quixote, which is this huge penguin-looking cunt, and it's a department store. They're everywhere. Some of them are open 24 hours.
Yep.
And it's just so much weird shit. We walked into one, and they have like the over 18 section, and it's like
The horny section.
The horny section. I walked in and just pissed myself laughing because...
It was like that'll get a boner.
Yeah, well, I laughed at the boner.
So did everyone who saw it.
As I did, I actually messaged in a different group chat while I was away, and I said the best thing about Japan is you walk into a store and 98% of the time I have the largest cock in the building. So that was
Which doesn't normally happen.
Yeah, now it's like 10. Well, that's being generous.
4.
Let's say 2. Yeah, so that was a nice time of my life. But in the over 18 section, the first they had like naughty photos, and you look over and it's just big, like obviously over exaggerated. Like they've gone to Photoshop or something, and it's just Asian women with big tits in bikinis and Santa outfits. And they're selling them as like porn photos. I'm like, surely you're not just jacking it to some clothed female. That's not really the vibe, but it's funny as.
Photoshopped as well.
And then I looked around and there's some and it's just like, oh, okay, like you're nude, you're naked.
Yeah.
They had all these things there as well. They had it advertised on the side of buildings, Tanga. And it's like this fucking single-use pocket pussy.
You did send me something about that.
Yeah.
How was it?
So funny. They're so weird. When we were maggot, we were like, fuck it, let's buy one and check the cut out. And it was so fun. Like, they're
Single
so
use is
weird. Oh, dude.
Well, I suppose like it's almost weirder to use it more than once, I suppose.
Oh, it would be. But fucking hell, like, we're just looking at all these things like, this is so funny.
How much
like,
are we talking? Well, they set you back.
Like $5.
Yeah. Game changer.
But like, Japan seems to be quite a horny country.
Yeah,
even though
I
they're not
get
rooting
that
and
one.
having kids, like they're just jacking off into things
Yeah,
singly and
heaps of
throwing
edging,
them out. A lot of edging.
Well, maybe that's why they have the single-use pocket pussies, because they're not having kids. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Lots of hand jobs.
That's the thing. Like, it's basically proving your theory of the hand jobs better than sex.
Better than sex.
Yeah, so
Can't get pregnant.
can't get pregnant. Sort of still same result.
Yeah.
Like, it's still the same. You're satisfied, the missus isn't.
Same result.
Yeah, same result. So, except she knows she's not going to have that opportunity of being satisfied.
Yeah,
So,
true. Yeah.
that's basically
That's
what a
okay.
tanga is.
Yeah.
And that's their sales pitch, actually. If you go to their website, by the end of the trip, though, they came out with a 2025 range
Bottle.
of them.
Ah, sure.
Chocolate, strawberry, and matcha flavored.
Flavoured.
Flavoured.
How can they be flavoured?
I was like, talk to me about that. Like, I'm not doing that at home. Like, do I want my cock to smell like matcha?
yeah, maybe not.
Probably not.
I'd
Probably
assume
not.
You're also not tasting this thing.
No, I don't think so. So, and I'm like, does that mean it's coming out with like green, smelly lube? Like, I don't
maybe.
know. Very weird. Anyway, yeah, we got really maggot that night. Had a lot of fun. Took photos and shit in those photo booths. The next day, we went off to the fresh fish markets. That was pretty cool. You just walk down this narrow alleyway, and there's just all these different people with like fresh food, tempura food, Kobe beef, Wagyu skewers, all that sort of shit. I didn't have as much of the Wagyu or the Kobe that I wanted. Well, I got over there. It was fucking expensive.
Yeah.
I was like, I can have equally as good food for
Yeah.
so much less. But I had a bit, and it was just very
Delightful,
tasty,
yeah.
delightful. So, but it was pretty cool. One of the guys, they had this place where they'd cut the tuna. Like, they had a massive, massive tuna. They'd cut it all up and serve it to you as it was cut off the fish.
Crazy.
So they had a big crowd, and I was watching that bloke getting to his work. I really enjoyed that.
Kingfish.
Yeah, it was pretty fucking cool. That day we finally got to go to Pokémon stores. I think in total I went to 8 across the 3. There's 2 in Osaka, 1 in Kyoto, and 5 in Tokyo that I hit. It was a lot of fun. They had the Nintendo stores and shit. Everything's so well themed. Everyone who works at the shops as well love what they do. They get into character. They do everything. So they had all these different displays and shit. Got a few photos with that. I literally felt like a fucking 8-year-old boy again. It was so much fun.
Which is like your fucking dream, basically. People don't understand. Clutzy froths that shit.
Yeah, it's so much. It was fucking awesome. Like, it's just going over to Japan was like stepping back in time.
Yeah.
And like you just
Like
feel
nostalgia.
like a kid. Oh yeah, you just feel like a kid the whole time. We went to these Studio Ghibli stores as well. So that's like your Totoro, Howl's Moving Castle, all that sort of shit. The detail they put into those shops is insane. Like it's some of the. I remember seeing Howl's Moving Castle when I was a 9-year-old kid. Dad took us to the movies to watch it because he'd heard about this renowned Japanese guy bringing this film over to Australia, and they dubbed it in English, and it was awesome. And I've always remembered that, and I've started watching some of the other movies because Caitlin likes them as well. But they've got all these cool little characters, and they had all each shop. Like, you know, if we go to, I'll use EB Games as an example, just because it's sort of similar, or those Zing places actually.
Yeah.
Every single one looks the same. You go to the Pokemon store, one of them was like the legendaries from the Gold game. So it was like Ho-Oh and Lugia. You go to another one, it's the legendary birds from the OG. Everything was different. So there was a point that you went and checked out everything. Studio Ghibli had like different scenes from different movies. So it was like the big Totoro thing. One of them had like from Howl's Moving Castle, Calcifer the Fire. It was just, everything was unique. So when we got there, we were like, fuck it, we might as well go check out every store. Like, because everything's going to have something unique. So it's pretty cool to go around and get photos of all that and take photos of that. Really enjoyed that. But that night, we went to this place called Brown One. It's like an arcade thing. It's like, I think there's 7 or 8 different floors. You pay $25 and get 3 hours of unlimited. You don't have to pay for any of the games or anything. First thing was
like
the
a time zone?
Yeah, it's like a time zone, but on roids. So I did like the bull riding, which was fun as fuck. Once I didn't fall off in the allotted time, which was lovely. So my legs were quite sore because I was just pinning them to the cunt.
Johnny Ringo's here he comes.
Yeah, Johnny Ringo's look out is basically what I'm saying. I will come in there sober.
I've never been there.
To Johnny Ringo's?
Yeah.
I haven't been for years. Great place. Lots of fun.
Heard good things.
But yeah, they had like a baseball batting cage. I did the 90k per hour one because all the other ones were really fucking busy. There's one that's 150.
Jesus.
And I really wanted to do that. The next day I was so sore because, dude, it's so weird. They had 2 different style of bats there. There was one bat I could not hit the ball. I don't know if it was too small. I don't know what I was doing, but I could not hit the ball. The other one I was doing all right at, but it's so different to cricket. Holy fuck. Like, I was happy I was hitting the ball. So that was a pretty cool experience doing that as well. Didn't do the ice skating because I didn't want to break my fucking body. But yeah, that was a lot of fun there. We went off to this place the next day called Nara. It's a deer park, and it's essentially this big temple. Nara was I got into my history work over there as well. There was a lot of, like, obviously very rich in history over in Japan. Nara was the first place where it was like a permanent capital. So they used to, like, whoever used to kill the emperor or whatever, wherever they live would then become the capital. This was now like, okay, like we've moved to the city and this is where it will always be the capital. So that was the first place. I think then it went to Kyoto and now it's in Tokyo because the royal family just moves around like that. But they had all these temples, all these lovely grounds, and then there's just deer everywhere. I didn't realize deer was so fucking savage. I don't know if you remember, but a few years ago, our mate Zach went over with his missus and their little kid, and Finn was like 2 years old maybe, and he's going to pat the deer, and then the deer just put its head down and fucking charged the cunt and smashed him.
I've seen shit like that,
Yeah. So we were over there.
They look so cute and harmless.
They look so cute and harmless, but they're fucked. You go and buy
Like feed?
these rice cakes, but they know that that's where the food comes from. So as soon as you get them, you get swarmed by like 10 deer. I was hating it at one point because there's all these things fucking having a go. And as we're walking up, like some people had them and the deer were just like hitting their legs or like, I don't fucking want that to happen.
Yeah.
I will hit the cunt.
Locks on with the
Yeah. But it was pretty cool getting to see all that sort of shit, walking around. On that train, I messaged Das this. There's a wig out moment. We're coming home on the train. It was about an hour back to Osaka. Standing up, and this bloke kept looking over, and I was like, what the fuck? And he's like an American bloke. And he's like, dude, are you on TikTok? I was like, yeah. And he goes, oh my God, I watch you all the time. And his dad was there, and he's like, yeah, like we watch you on TikTok. They were from Texas.
That's so random.
And they were over on a family holiday, and he's like, yeah, like like I watch you on your podcast. I was like, that's fucked. So if you're listening, hello again. But that was a real wig out moment for me.
On a train in
When
Japan.
an American guy sees an Aussie guy that he watches on TikTok on a fucking train in Japan.
Not for long, brother.
Not for long. Fucking
Although
hell.
they're back.
They're back, yeah. Welcome back. Then our last day, we did Universal Studios, which was fucking insane. You go to Movie World and shit here, obviously, like, a lot of fun. There's characters and shit walking around. Over there, everyone is in character, whether they're, like, every store, they dress to a certain thing. So when you're in the Hollywood section, they're all Hollywood stuff. We walked in, though, and we went in. And I bought this ridiculous Mario hat because we're like, fuck it, let's wear them around
The one
all
you
day.
had yesterday?
Yeah, the one I had yesterday. Caitlin bought a Toad hat because they didn't have any Princess Peach stuff. But the Toad was so funny. But this dude, he's like, how many times have you been to Universal? I was like, oh, this is my first. He goes, oh, congratulations, and brings out this little sticker, and it's fucking Sesame Street characters being like, it's my first time here. So you could put it on. So I've kept that off so I could keep it. We ended up getting another one. Yeah, for if you want those stickers, just say it's your first time every time. Caitlin got some other random sticker, but the first time one was really cool. We went walking around, checked out everything. There's people lining up for a Hello Kitty performance. They were just sitting in the street. It wasn't like we got there at 6:30 and the lines were full. So we're like, holy shit, like it's gonna be busy. We bought if anyone's going over to Universal, make sure you get the express pass. It's gonna cost you a fair bit more. But to put it in perspective, we got one of the cheaper express passes where it gave you access to all the areas for whatever time. You got to go and skip the queues for a couple of different rides, and they tell you what time you go to the ride. One of the rides is new. The expected wait time was 420 minutes or 7 hours.
Holy fuck.
And people would line up for 7 hours to go on that ride.
Why?
Ridiculous, hey?
Grip.
Another ride, the Donkey Kong one.
I don't think there's anything on planet Earth that I'd line up for
Wait for 7 hours?
Hand
No.
job, maybe?
Maybe. Maybe. We could do that with myself in 10
Maybe
seconds.
some things, yeah.
Donkey Kong was the same, 420 minutes. I was like, fuck, these are new rides, but they're going to be here for a while.
Yeah,
like,
you'd hope so.
They haven't
They're either going to be here for a while or someone's going to die on
Yeah,
them,
exactly. So. Like we're not having a repeat of other things that have happened here. Like, fuck that.
Yeah.
But the express pass, like one of the rides we went on, the Hollywood Dream, I think the wait time was like an hour and a half or 2.5 hours, something like that. And we got on in 10 minutes.
Oh, get in.
And like, fuck it. Like,
Yeah.
if you're going to pay that extra money and you get to actually do the entire park, why would you not? So we got to do everything. We did the Jaws ride, which was, it wasn't like it was a water boat ride.
Flume.
It was fucking great, mate. It was sick. So we jumped on. The guy spoke Japanese, didn't understand a lick of what was happening, but everything around you, like, he's like, yeah, we're going through whatever the seaside town that Jaws is set in. You're going through there for a tour, and then you round this corner and there's like a broken ship, and you're like, what the fuck's going on? And then all of a sudden there's like a giant shark that you see in the distance, and it goes under. And the way that the boat driver reacts and all the shit there, like you're trying to kill this shark, it was so cool. Genuinely got freaked out a couple of times because you weren't sure where the shark was coming from.
Yeah, sure.
And everyone was like, holy fuck. Like, so that was pretty cool. Caitlin then went on this Jurassic Park ride.
It's the one you were sending me.
Yeah, no fucking way was I going. She reckons the dream ride we did, the Hollywood Dream, was scarier. I was like, there's no fucking way. This thing had a pterodactyl on the front, and the way they said it was you're sitting so that you're just face down to the ground.
No, I hate that.
So it's as if you've been picked up by a pterodactyl and it's taken you around the park.
No thanks.
Went underground, back up, all that sort of shit. It was fucked. I was like, I'm happy to wait here for however long you want.
2 feet on the ground.
Yeah. But then it was time for me to go on my first roller coaster. And this is where if there's one thing that happens in Japan, it's maybe a bit of a breakdown in language communication and translation. So I'm sitting there and this bloke's like, all right, come on. We were doing the backwards version of the Hollywood Dream first. I didn't really know what that meant until I saw the carts. We went the same way as the normal, because Caitlin was like, oh, we'll just do the track but reverse. I was like, no, we won't, because there's other people going. So we crash into them.
Each other, yeah.
Oh, I was like, we're going reverse. So we
Like
won't see
facing,
where we're going. We're facing the back. And we were in the last row, so we were the last ones to go up. Now, the guy gets me to go try out this seat, because all the seats are fucking small over there. I could fit into it, just. And then he's like, okay, you're just going to have to hold on tight.
Which is not what you want to hear when you're getting on a roller coaster.
When you're already freaking about going on a roller coaster because you don't like them that much, like, not the best thing. And I'm walking along going to Caitlin, no, this is fucked. This is fucked. She's like, Josh, they would not put you on if it was unsafe. I was like, but this cunt is telling me to fucking hold down. So
He's never seen a man my size.
All I've thought about was I've just got to sit there and just try and keep my ass in the seat and push down. So I get on and I'm sitting there and I'm like,
you fall through the bottom.
It's fucked, dude. I was like, because I know when I go on roller coasters, like I lift up in the air. And I'm like, holy fuck, man. Like, so we're sitting there and we take off. I'm like, this is fucked. This is fucked. And Caitlin's just laughing. She's like, it's okay. It's like, nah, this is fucked. We start going up and the incline's so steep. And I'm just looking down. I'm like, oh no, this is so fucked up. Fuck this shit. Why the fuck am I here? Fuck this cunt. Fuck. Just swearing so much. And she's like, oh, it's fine. Ha ha. Got this sweet, innocent Japanese girl next to me just going like, oh. Like, yeah, it's fucked, isn't it? Oh my God. Get up the top. And then not knowing where you're going on a roller coaster is fucked. At least when you go down normal, you can see where you're going to turn. But
stuff,
we also had a selection of each seat. You could play a song. So I forgot what Taylor Swift song I was playing, but it was one of the 4 options. So my coping mechanism was screaming that as loud as possible along to the lyrics. But once that was all good, that was sweet. But Universal was so much fun. Got to go to like Nintendo World and did like a Mario Kart ride, and everything was so interactive. The way they've put it together is insane. Like, and as I was saying, like all the people that work there were just so keen. So many people at Universal kept stopping me as well, getting photos, saying I was Mario. Which is quite funny. Literally, I'm just a white guy with a mustache.
Plumber though, but they didn't know
that. But they didn't know that. But maybe they did.
Maybe they can sense it.
Maybe they can sense it. Yeah,
Shit under the
smells like shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, like all these people taking photos. That was pretty fucking funny. We went off. The one thing, so food was cheap over there. Food at Universal was cheap. But we were looking around to see if we could actually get in anywhere because there wasn't many food options, which I thought they could improve on. Went to this one place. It was in the American themed part, the San Francisco themed part. You get pizza. Have a guess how much for 8 slices of pizza for a large pizza.
How large are we talking?
Like just like a you know the pizza joint next door where you get those big bits?
Yeah.
Like one of those.
So it's a good size pizza.
It's a fairly decent sized pizza.
I'm gonna go $40.
It was like $80.
Disgusting.
Because Caitlin was like, we could just share a pizza. They're $20. I was like, no, that's for one slice and a drink is $20. So I'm not paying that. So we just got chips. I'm like, fuck this. But then we went to the Hogwarts section. And this is pretty funny. This was there's moments in life that get presented at you where it could be like a fork in the road moment for you where you choose to do stuff. We were standing there and we're about to go on this, it was called like the Forbidden Forest ride. And Caitlin overheard this yank and he's like on the phone. He goes, yeah, like I'm too big to go on the ride. So I'm just waiting out the front for them. Caitlin goes, like you're nowhere near as big as him. And I'm like, oh, now I'm worried.
Yep.
Like you've said it.
Yep.
Like you've said it. You've jinxed me.
I just gained 10 kilos.
Yeah. This is completely your fault that I'm my size right now.
Not mine.
We go over and go to sit down on this
Not the
seat.
fact that I just had purely hot chips for dinner.
Yeah, exactly. But we go to sit down. Oh, he's like, come try the seat. And the other one was all right because you pull it back to your waist. This one was from the top, so it had to get over my shoulders.
Yeah.
Now, my shoulders are quite broad. And I was like, oh, God, I'm in for some fucking strife here. So he's trying to put this thing on, and then I've like sucked my gut in and done everything and like tried to angle myself backwards. And it was there, and he's like, all right, like, he's like, when you go in, say you got to go to the special loading zone. And I was like, okay. And I was like, it'd be such a hard thing to turn people away.
Yeah.
So we go in there, and then this lady's like, oh, let me guess, special zone. I'm like, yes. She's like, come this way. So everyone else is walking through, and then we go off to the left, go to this lift. She's like, go up to this level, come out, follow the corridor, go to the lift, go down, out. I was like, okay. Did that. And I was like,
Do you get to skip the stairs?
skip the stairs, skip the lines, skipped everything. We get out there and we're just in this dingy thing, and there's one person down there and a single cart comes along to us and stops. And so they're 4-seater carts, sit in this thing, and they're like, all right, so to Caitlin, you have to slam him in. So she's done that. And then I could not take a deep breath in because my chest was, so I could only go like, and it was so fucked trying to breathe. But what I found out was if you're too big but can fit, it's like sort of like a modesty thing. So, or if you're like in a wheelchair. So I basically went to the disabled zone and they chucked me into this thing and had to load me onto our own ride.
Yeah.
Like I still fit and everything, but I was like, fuck, like that's sort of cool because then at least if you don't actually fit, you can just take the elevator and fuck off and you don't get the embarrassment.
Yeah, sure.
But I was there. I was like, this is fun. Such a cool ride. It was literally just on a conveyor belt and it was like, it sort of looked like a robot arm and it just drove you along, but it would twist you in the air and shit like that.
I hate that.
And then it had all this motion shit. So it was like you're watching like a movie almost. And so it pretended you're on a broomstick. And then it would like, so you go up and then it would quickly turn you like that to go down. So you weren't moving that much, but it felt like you're going everywhere.
Yeah.
It was really fucking cool. The only wig out was Harry Potter character speaking in Japanese.
Yeah.
So weird.
That is weird.
When you see Dumbledore pop up, he goes, hiya! I'm like, dude, like you're meant to be an old 80-year-old man.
You
like,
can't speak
chill out,
Japanese.
cunt. And then Harry Potter screaming at you, so, arigato gozaimasu. You're like, fuck, dude, that's not Daniel Radcliffe.
Who was this
Like,
guy?
it's fucking Jackie Chan. He was fucked, but had so much fun. I bought a wand, a replica of Harry Potter's wand. Everything was just fucking insane. We did the Hollywood Dream the normal way. That was like our last ride, and it was as the sun was setting. And the cool thing about that roller coaster is it literally takes you around the entire park, so you get a view of everything. And I was a bit nervous again just because I get like that. I was like, fuck it. I'm going to blare Taylor Swift and just enjoy it. And so like the whole time you're going up, you look out, sun's setting over everything, just screaming, being an idiot. Taylor Swift in my fucking ears, looking like Mario. I was like, this is pretty sick. And Caitlin's like, hates roller coasters. I was like, yeah, I do, but I just tried to have fun.
Swift. Yeah.
Taylor Swift should be on every roller coaster. I'd be happy.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was great. That was pretty much our time in Osaka.
Come with me on for 51 minutes.
Really? Yeah. Fuck. Oh, I'll try and be quicker with all this other shit. We went to Kyoto next. That was pretty cool as well. Kyoto's like real old, Really, really old.
Yo, Skrill.
Yeah, literally. Took a train up there. It was like half an hour or so. Caitlin went to this place called Labo. I'd never heard of it before. It's some perfume brand, and when you go there, they make the perfume. So you order what you want. They make it for you. They do a special label where it was made.
That's very
so
cool.
hers is all in Japanese.
I hope so.
Costs an arm and a leg, but it was a really cool thing. But I was amazed by something that day called an aqueduct. It was at this temple, and it was this bridge, and I kept hearing running water, and I was like, what the fuck's going on? They made this bridge 80 years, 100 years ago or something, and this engineer is like statued everywhere around Kyoto. Essentially, chuck a boat with supplies, put it in this aqueduct, and it goes above level, and it runs down to the fucking lake like a couple of 100 kilometers away or something. And that's just how they used to transport supplies.
Shit, yeah.
It's like, this is just an absolute engineered
I thought it
genius
was
thing.
the aqueduct.
No,
which you can see at,
that's what...
Dreamworld? No.
Just the Goldie.
Underwater World. Yeah, the Gold Coast. Yeah.
But yeah, I was pretty sick. Now, something happened to Caitlin that happened to me on one of our trips. And I really got... No, I don't think I probably did. She was clogged.
You up there.
I got on the front foot and I was like...
This could ruin your life for 8 months.
This could literally ruin you. So I was looking up fucking Japanese fiber, all this sort of shit. I found there was like jellies.
I'm sure she'd love to hear this on the pod.
Yeah. But I think it must happen quite commonly because I started taking some of it as well as a precautionary measure because like...
I know what happened, just doesn't matter where you go, just changing your diet completely.
You don't really... Yeah, and that's the thing. Like she's pescatarian and she was just like eating a shit ton of meat and stuff.
Yeah.
The veggies over there's not really, you don't get huge servings of veggies. It's all like rice and shit. So fuck me. We really had to get into our fiber work over there. But they literally have a whole section in all the convenience stores that's just fiber products. And then I was like, oh my God, that makes so much sense. You see everyone walking around drinking these fiber drinks and sucking on this jelly. But geez, I worked overtime to get her all good.
That sorted, yeah.
And good she was. Did this thing, we stayed at a ryokan. So it's a traditional ryokan.
Ryokan.
Yeah. So it's like you literally sleep on the floor basically.
Yeah.
On futons and shit. Yeah. And we got to we booked in for onsens, which is like baths and shit there. Caitlin wasn't appreciative when I'd fart in them.
But he did bathe himself once or twice on the trip, which is good.
It was great. I had a lot of fun bathing.
Well, how's the bath go compared to your sitz bath back at home?
Oh, I do miss the sitz bath, but this one was deep and I could get everything in there, so I was quite happy. Actually, no, I couldn't. I really had to go on an angle to try and get my knees in, even by myself in there.
Cock and balls, no way.
Cock and balls was fine, yeah. They were floating. It was good. It looked really nice. We went to this other thing, and I said to Caitlin the night before, I was like, so I'll tell you the actual name of it, Fushimi Inari Taisha. Okay, so we're going to Fushimi Inari. Exactly.
May as well be speaking Japanese to me, mate.
But what it is, I said to Caitlin, I was like, so tomorrow we're going to go walk through 1,000 gates. And she's like...
That sounds shit.
She's like, that sounds so shit.
Yeah.
And she was getting worried. I was like, no, well, that's what it is. Like, you walk through 1,000 gates. She's like, well, it's thousands of gates. I was like, okay, but tomorrow we're going to walk through thousands of gates. And she's like, but that sounds so shit. Like, that's going to be so shit. Like, it sounds bad. I was like... I'm sure if it's a popular attraction walking through 1,000 gates, well, you can put it different. So we rock up there and there's all these orange gates. And it's like you walk up a mountain. It was raining as well. Like it was misty. It was so cool. There's all these orange gates and all of them are named.
Stuff. It looks so
It's
sick.
so cool. But if you were to say to someone, do you want to go walk through 1,000 gates tomorrow?
I don't want to walk through one.
Yeah. She's like, it just sounds shit. I'm like, yeah, but it's not going to be. So that was a phenomenal day. Had my first and only proper burger over there from Dragon Burger. It was a chain. There's 3 of them in Kyoto. It was insane. Wasabi mayo. Not a big fan of wasabi. The wasabi mayo got me on the wasabi train. So
I like wasabi, yeah.
Yeah, Dragon Burgers to...
one to try.
One to try if you're over there. Had a shit ton of matcha in Kyoto as well. Like, I was shitting green. That's how much matcha I was having.
Love that.
It was fucking awesome. I loved it. Went to this place called Arashiyama. Around there was this bamboo forest, and there's some guy who has a garden there. We got there that early that the garden wasn't even open at fucking like 8 a.m. in the morning. Like, we went to the bamboo proper sleep in. It's fucked. We got there at 7 a.m. because they had a lot of shit to cover off that day. Went through this bamboo forest, and we were both like, oh, like, hopefully it's all right. But it was really cool. There's no one around. Heaps of bamboo. You're all like entrapped in there. Different times of the year, it has snow through it, so that would have been cool. But then we went to the monkey mountain. Got to see monkeys fuck. That's all I wanted to say. But it was
Tick
like
that off the list.
you can tell that we are very closely related to monkeys.
God, yeah.
There was this
They must
one
have tiny cocks.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
And this is the pairing that I saw really reminded me of myself. The dude was there sitting in a tree. The chick was like picking his back, looking for fleas and stuff. There was another monkey that kept trying to come up the tree. These two would look down and yell at it. And then the dude would jump up, run behind and just start rooting. 5 seconds.
Done.
And then he'd stop and he'd sit back down, go back in front, and the chick would start picking his back again.
Yeah, okay.
That is a life I could live.
Simple life, isn't it?
Very, very simple life. But when you're walking up, it was a fucked walk up. It was ridiculous. Like,
Wonder if they experiment with hand jobs.
Surely.
Monkeys, surely.
Well, they fuck for pleasure. I think they're the only other animals that fuck for pleasure.
Okay.
So good on them. But
It is pleasure. It is good fun.
the climb up was fuck. Like, it was so steep. And I always forget that as you get higher, like it's harder to breathe.
Yeah.
So I was struggling.
So when Caitlin was picking the fleas out of your back up in a tree, you were out of breath?
Yeah, I was out of breath. 2 pumps and I'm out of breath. Pretty fucked. But you're going up there and it's like, do not make contact with the eye contact with the monkeys.
Eye contact?
Yeah, you can't
Really?
even look at them because they
Really?
see that as a threat.
Hectic.
So if you were to look into
That'd
their
be
eyes, they
scary,
go
dude.
weird. Yeah, dude. And there's so many of them. They're all just wild monkeys
you just
living
walk
up
around
there.
looking at the floor?
Pretty much. But or you look and you go like this
Yeah.
and you can sort of see them.
Yeah. Peripherals.
But they're just like jumping on the roof of the house up there and fighting each other all the time.
Yeah.
Like, it was pretty fucking wild. The scariest thing, we got up there, 2 of them had a little bit of a biff, and then one of them stood up and just started making all this noise. And then there's like fucking 30 or 40 monkeys came from everywhere, and all like the wildlife people like got up to have a look. But that was my first interaction. Was like, holy fuck, I'm about to get swarmed by some fucking monkey. Yeah. I'm going to have to box on with a monkey.
Yeah.
And after going to Marty and Michael's show and hearing about old mate getting bit on the cock.
Yeah.
Like,
Just when you imagine trying to box on, not look it in the eyes.
yeah, it was fucked, dude. Ridiculous. From there, went back down, went to this Miffy cafe, little character. Caitlin loves Miffy. Everything they did in the cafe, the food was shaped like Miffy. The coffee, they would then do like the latte they'd do in the shape of Miffy. That's pretty cool. There ended up being a few of those around Japan that we went to. There was also this historical street. They've preserved it like it was back in the day. And
That's
pretty cool. We went up there and there was all these little silkworm cocoons, and they were all dressed up and shit. And there was a lady, I think we read her story. She had like cancer or something and couldn't work, but she always loved silkworms. And she started getting these cocoons, and she's made a business where she does paper origami and puts them onto the cocoons and cuts different sections of cocoons and makes people.
Hectic.
It's really, really cool. So we saw that. We went to this temple that had all these heads, and it's like this monk just loved carving Buddha. So he just carved all these different stones in the shape of Buddha, which was cool. And then went to this golden temple, which was insane. Like, the cunt that lived there must have been the bougiest, most extra person ever, because this temple was just bright gold on the middle of this lake. We got there for sunsets. The sun was shining on it. It was so bright. Loved that. Yeah, Kyoto was basically us just doing matcha. We then went to Tokyo, went on one of those Shinkansens, the 300 kilometer per hour trains.
Yeah, that is fucked up.
Dude,
was that like a bit scary?
No, it's like you don't rattle around anywhere. When you go past the other trains, you know how if we go past the train here, it takes
you get fucking concussion.
and it still takes a while for it to pass.
Yeah.
Shinkansens have, I think it's like 16 fucking carriages,
Yeah.
plus a carriage in between with like toilets and shit for basically all of them. It would take maybe 2 seconds.
That's nice.
Like, it was insane. I worked out, because we did the Shinkansen from Tokyo back to Osaka to come home. That drive alone would take 10 hours, I think. Took us 2.5 hours with 5 stops on a train.
Yeah, that's wild.
Like, pretty cool. So we did that. We stayed in Shinjuku, which was pretty cool. I reckon next time we'd probably stay in Shibuya, a bit more of our vibe, but Shinjuku was cool. They've got this big Godzilla thing over one of the cinemas there in Shinjuku, and on the hour, every hour, this music starts playing and it goes all dark, and then the Godzilla music plays and his mouth lights up like he's breathing fire, and smoke comes from the building, and that's really cool. So we got to see that. We went to this other temple, Meiji Temple. It was pretty cool. They had all these different things of sake there. And this dude, basically, like, when he took over, he ended the previous regime of shoguns and shit in Japan and opened up Japan to the West. So they love this cunt. Like, I think I gave you a plain bread block of chocolate.
Yep, I ate it all last night.
It's all named after him because they like love him.
Delicious.
But that day as well, we did something really weird, which I got a lot of messages from. Well, it wasn't weird, but it is a little bit. Caitlin hired a dog for an hour. So she walked around this little poodle. The cunt wouldn't follow us for 8. Like, we'd try and walk it and it would just stand. So then Caitlin would hold it. It was dressed in this little pink outfit. Caitlin loved it.
I did see that.
It was quite odd. So you could go to we stood in this room and there's like all these dogs in there just yapping. I was like, this place stinks.
Yep.
Like, they've got all these animal cafes. Didn't go to any animal cafes because I was like, all right, if this is like this, I'm a little bit etched on going to an otter cafe where they allegedly drug the animals to make them more docile. But
Yeah, courageous.
so that under my guidance, they can just do whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah.
But yeah, we took this dog around this park, and you could only take him around this specific park.
So you pay to take someone else's dog for a walk?
It's literally, this business is you pay to look after a dog for an hour, and you get to walk it around and do all this shit.
That's wild.
Caitlin thought it was amazing. I didn't mind old career.
Oh, you get a dog. That's cool. Yeah.
Caitlin thought its name was Kaeru, which Kaeru in Japanese is frog. So I started calling her Froggy. I was like, come here, Froggy. And this dog was just so etch of me, like hated me, I think.
Yeah, because you're literally reminded of Godzilla, cunt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I kept saying to Caitlin, I was like, this poor thing's being overworked. Like, just think about that. She's like, no, like, he gets to go out and have walks. I was like, it's open from 11 till 7. She rows 8 hours a day, probably 56 hours of walking a week, and she's a fucking 4-year-old poodle.
Yeah.
Does that sound fun? No. But Caitlin loved it. She was a very cute dog. I kept making jokes about Claire for the rest of it. Because, we got back and its name was Claire, which is Claire, not Froggy. So I kept making jokes about Claire for the rest of the trip, which Caitlin, I don't think, liked that much, but it is what it is. Did some vintage shopping.
Yeah, did you get anything good?
I got a NASCAR jacket.
That's sick.
But it was like a big, I forgot the material, big thick one. It was really cool. I got, even though I don't go for them, I got a Knicks jumper just because it was the only thing that really fit me, and it was pretty cool. But a lot of it was very, very dear. Like $200 for just a standard jumper that says Miami or Michigan. It was pretty fucked. But really cool. The people that worked there were awesome. We went through like Harajuku to look at that, and then another place a couple of days later. But Harajuku is a bit of a wig out of a place. Like, it's all these Nigerian cunts around trying to fucking pull you off to their bars and stuff. And it's stop calling me big boy. Like, fuck off,
it's not
cunt.
funny when you do it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you're a fuckwit.
Yeah.
Just fuck off. We did go to this other place that night called Piss Lane. It's something else. It's meant to be this like really cool spot. I didn't really vibe with it, neither did Caitlin. It's just like people yelling at you to come and try out their yakitori sticks. And it was just not really the biggest vibe. Like, it's cool to walk down, but probably not the best place to eat. Really chaotic. After that, have you seen that cat on?
Yeah.
So we went to that. That was real weird, but real cool. Everyone loves that shit. I tried out this place for brekkie the next day called Egg Slut.
Oh, yeah.
Now, going to a place and being able to just say slut was something else. Caitlin went up
With
to
no
order
repercussions.
with no repercussions. Caitlin went up to order and she ordered me the burger I got, which was awesome. It was like 2 different types of egg with a Wagyu patty and all this other shit. Caitlin went up, she's like, oh, we'll get this, and then, oh, we'll get this one to share. And the guy goes, the original slut? She's like, yes, I'll get the original slut. But it was so cool. This day we went to Osaka and I bought my dad 2 knives. Dad loves his fishing, obviously. So got him some boning knives and like an actual filleting knife. We went to this other place called Nakamasi Dore. It's like the oldest temple. And I was pretty keen to go, but I got there and all the temples and shrines you go to over there, it's very respectful. A lot of places don't take photos inside, all that sort of shit. This one was so popular, everyone could walk inside. I was a bit like, fuck, it sucks that they've like commercialized it in a way. Like this is the oldest temple.
The cool thing about it usually is you can't take photos.
You can't take photos, but like everyone's just walking inside, shoes on. Most places you got to take shoes off.
Yeah.
Like, but we did get to go to the Asahi Sky Tower that day. Next door was the Asahi building as well, like the beer hall, which I thought beer hall awesome, going to be like a massive piss up area. It was a restaurant. You couldn't really, it was weird. So we didn't go in there. Had a giant golden poo on top. But on top of the Asahi building was this Sky Tower, and it's a bar where most places you get a view of the city from like a tower you got to pay to get up. This was, you sit up there, sit wherever the fuck you want, play musical chairs and drink beer. It was so phenomenal. Good. Had a whole view like of
is that what you? I think you sent me photos. Yeah, that looked fucking
big
insane.
view of Tokyo. So that was really cool. The next day we went to the footy, which was hilarious.
Yes.
Kickoff happened. Oh, well, we got there. We didn't realise it was BYO alcohol. You could buy shit inside.
Crazy.
You get like half a litre of beer for like $6 inside. It was so good. But everyone was real vocal beforehand. And then kickoff happened, silent. It was just clapping. And then they occasionally cheer for stuff. They're just so polite. We had this bloke behind us just cheering, go, Santorego. So by the end, I was maggot because we started drinking the 196s and I got, fucking.
You and him became best mates.
Yeah, went up afterwards. I love you, man. Can I get a photo, please? And he's like, yeah. Had this giant flag.
I actually saw that photo of that guy, yeah.
Pretty cool. So Caitlin and I got maggot and then went to the electronic district, Akihabara. And it sounds sort of fucked, but they have all these girls on the side that give you brochures to come to their cafes and all that sort of shit. Well, that was one thing also back in Shinjuku. It was the same here. When we were in Shinjuku, we didn't realise we were walking through the red light district on the first night, and it was sort of sketch, but we also wanted to do it. And then we're like, oh, okay, that makes sense. But all these girls, they're trying to give out things. We searched up what they were giving out. We're like, oh, it must be like a titty bar or something. They try and get you to pay $30 cover charge to go into a bar where there will be girls. Like, they're not naked, not anything like that. You pay $30 to be served by a female bartender.
Yeah, right.
Or you pay $30 to sit in the same bar that another girl is sitting at.
Hectic.
Like, that's all it is. I'm like, that's fucked.
Yeah.
Like, ridiculous. So we were picking everyone's story about why they were holding the cards and how long they'd been in there. You could tell the ones that hadn't done it for long because they were really happy, and the ones that had done it for ages were just like,
get me out of here.
It was pretty fucked. We did Shibuya, which was cool. They got that giant crossing there, which was manic when everyone's crossing. But that was a really cool day. I liked that one for Caitlin met up with her homestay girl that she stayed with 10 years ago, Hannah. Hannah works for this company. She's like I think what I worked out was she's the audio producer for this show, and it is the biggest Japanese comedy show that's like televised to the world. And they've had a few people on America's Got Talent and shit, but it was like, I really wanted to go watch it, but it didn't fit in time for us. It was on our last day. But like dudes getting fucking party poppers and farting and making them explode, like that's my humor.
Yeah.
So that was really cool.
That's your dream job.
But we went, literally.
Yeah.
But we went to this place as well. Caitlin had this surprise for me, and it was a hair treatment thing.
Yeah,
so they go and basically massage your head for an hour. But the funniest thing was the chick's like got this camera on my scalp and taking all these photos and showing me stuff and translating it to English. It was all very serious. And then one of the translations was this: your hair is dry and horny. I am worried about it. And I'm trying not to piss myself laughing. I was like, I understand.
How do you treat horny hair?
How do you treat horny hair? And she's like, you need to wash more. And I was like, fuck, I wash all the time. But
More?
she just got into it and then afterwards took all the photos, didn't have anything there. And I was like, oh, so I no longer have dry and horny hair.
Horny, yeah.
I've come to
If only
completion.
it was that simple.
If only it was. Did another thing that night, Team Lab Planets. You go inside this thing and there's 3 different sections. We had to take our shoes off. There was like a water world and everything's immersive. It's like modern art. It was really fucking cool. They had this one interactive thing where they had all these lights set up and it looks like the sky and they had mirror on the floor, mirrors everywhere. So it looked like an infinite galaxy basically. And you could on this app select different colored stars and throw them up. And as you did it, that color would then go into around you.
Yep.
So the cool thing about all the art pieces there was they were all interactive and they were all based off like a computer thing. And so you'd never see the same thing twice is what they were trying to get at, which is really cool. Last couple of things we did, sorry to drag it out, did this cat temple. And there was all these little cats.
Pussy temple?
The pussy temple. Essentially, some story about that region was doing really shit. A cat appeared at the front of the temple and like waved at these samurai. And
So
the
that's
samurai came in.
all the cats that you
and
see?
that's
Yeah.
So a left-hand cat means good fortune and a right-hand cat means something else. Like you're
Fuck
going to
you,
get...
cunt.
Yeah, they're both like good. But,
Okay, yeah.
One's like good fortune and the other one's wealth or
Good health
something.
or some shit, yeah.
But we went there and you can buy all these different sized cats and you're meant to take it away with you, make a wish, and when your wish is complete, return it back. So every cat that you saw placed around the temple
Had already
was
granted a wish for
someone's
someone.
come
Yeah.
back to do that, which is pretty cool. I like that sort of symbolic shit they do over there. Like it's just
Yeah.
cool at the story arc for it. It's not like...
They're just flogging shit off to make a few bucks.
It's
yeah.
not like making a donation at church and that's it.
Yeah.
See you later.
And then they just don't pay tax. Yeah.
Exactly. So this was something different. Also had the best coffee I had over there as well. I looked at it and I was like, this looks like an
How did
Aussie
it rank
coffee.
compared to Aussie coffees?
But it was literally on par. Like it was awesome. I just got like a latte. He had the group handle machines.
Yeah.
Coffee in general over there was a bit shit, but this guy was fucking awesome.
I'm back on my milk coffee. At the moment as well. It's bad.
This got me back on the milk coffee. But yeah, it was pretty cool. Went to another place that's like meant to be like the new style of Harajuku, all vintage shopping. That's where I got my jacket and shit, which was pretty cool. But some of the vintage stuff over there, they love American like army gear. And then you'd think a place that got fucked up by America in the World War would probably not have a hat there saying America back-to-back world champs, World War champs.
Yeah.
But they had a lot of that sort of shit. And I
Yeah,
was
that's
like, this is
pretty-
just a bit weird.
That
Like,
is very.
I don't really like that.
Bought the hat though.
Last couple of days, we did sumo wrestling one day.
Of course you did.
That was fucking cool.
Had to pay for the trip somehow.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But we're going along and like you walk past the sumos as they're walking and some of them I was
They
like, oh
big
yeah.
cunts, like-
Bro, like there's some like the grand champion, he's the only one of that rank.
The only one of that rank. That's so sick.
Yeah, so he's like the other guy retired. This guy's coming back from injury. He ended up actually 2 days after we saw him, or the day after, he'd lost 3 matches in a row and he was just fucked. So he just retired from the tournament. He's like 192 centimeters and 180 kilos.
Holy bro.
Big boy.
Yeah.
But there's some of them like 170 centimeters, 150 kilos.
Yeah.
Like, how are your kilos higher than your fucking centimeters, bro?
Yeah,
like but
that can never be good.
and watching them go, like, you know, like you would have seen like sumo shit in the past, and it's like, oh, like being there, listening to the impact and seeing how quick they do it.
The two big boys.
Fucked, bro.
And they're explosive too.
Yeah, it makes me wonder, like, how are Japan not the number 1 scrummaging team in the world in rugby? Get some of those cunts in there.
Fucking oath.
There's no way that anyone from around the world is
Imagine
pushing
the
that
weight
back.
of the forward pack.
Oh, fucking oath. And like, they wouldn't be that unfit. Like, they train a lot.
Yeah.
They eat a lot of good shit. But
Maybe it's more like there's more, prestige in being a sumo wrestler than
Possibly.
a rugby
I did
player
look
in
up how
Japan.
much it was to see if there was a potential career.
Big cash.
The number one guy gets paid 30 grand if he wins a tournament, or 100 grand if he wins a tournament, and then gets paid 30 grand a month.
Oz, like AUD.
Yeah, AUD.
That's pretty good.
Or US. So it's pretty
either or,
fucked.
yeah.
Yeah, it's good. But it's pretty crazy.
Any internationals?
A couple. So the main guy's Mongolian. He's like Mongolian.
Okay.
There used to be a few Russians.
Yeah.
There's been Georgians.
Wonder if you could be the first ever Aussie to.
It would be great.
Wonder if there's sumo wrestling in Brisbane.
They used to bring tournaments over, but they used to have to specially make planes to fit the sumos on them. Because
Really?
they're that big. Yeah. And give them enough space.
Of course. Imagine
Pretty
getting one of the
fucked.
sitting next one and they went on an
Yeah,
economy
exactly. Be like sitting next to me, cunt.
flight. Been there.
Been there a few times. But yeah, so that was really cool. The people like right near the ring, they had like the next fighters, the two next fighters from each side would sit next to the ring. They had a couple of judges, all that sort of shit, couple of announcers. But sometimes they get thrown off the ring into where the crowd is. And this one cunt got done 4 times.
Oh.
People landed on him 4 times.
Yeah, we're talking-
And he's with his missus.
Oh.
And I was like, the missus is right next to him and never got hit, so that was good. But the sumos, like, they don't apologise or anything
Just
because
get
that's
back
just
in.
that's just
Yeah.
what it is.
You're courtside, bruh. That's what
And
happens.
what I didn't realise, it's like you wrestle once
And then you're done.
and that's it.
Yep.
So if you fuck up and slip over,
Because
that's
they
you done
do
for the
that,
day.
don't they? Yeah,
Yep.
they can be quick.
So most of them are so quick. They've got a whole big song and dance about throwing salt to purify the ring and psyching themselves up and shit.
I
And
want
wipe
to
their
Google if there's
face.
any in Brisbane. I want to get you in the ring.
It'd be fun. But yeah, so we did that. The main guy lost, as I said, and everyone started throwing pillows at him. And I was
Pillows?
like, what the fuck? Because they're all sitting on pillows and shit down the front. I was like, what the fuck? This is crazy. Googled it. The highest rank in sumo, if you reach that rank and you lose to someone who is of a lower rank, so essentially if this guy ever loses, the crowd throws shit. It's tradition to throw shit at him to heckle him because he shouldn't be losing and he's brought shame.
That is so fucking
So
funny.
that poor cunt would have copped that and they're all like yelling and just throwing shit at him as he just walks down this tunnel. Like, poor
That is-
bastard.
yeah, that's good though.
Played a bit of pachinko that night. I don't really know how to explain it, but it's Japanese pokies and it's like you're playing a video game. Like, it's fucked up. The next day we did our last Pokemon Studio Ghibli and Miffy stores, which was quite sad for us. The kiddie trip was coming to an end, but really had a lot of fun with that. But from there we had the best ramen that we had. It was like thick pork. It was a bit spicy. You could choose your spice levels. Insane. It was so good. I've already sent it to Hurdy to go to when he goes over there. But we did go-karting that night.
Yep.
Now, I was trying to explain to some people what it was like, but I searched it up before we went, and I thought there was individual go-kart lanes through Tokyo for the go-karting. How wrong was I?
You're just on the road.
We were just on the road in slightly oversized go-karts. I didn't realize this was Caitlin's roller coaster. Like, she was so scared of doing
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
And it was just
At least you
me.
have to hold on tight, Caitlin.
No fucking oath. It was just me, her, and the instructor. And we just ripped through Akihabara. Then he took us through to like Tokyo, Ginza, all these different places. We just drove around on go-karts for an hour through Tokyo. And it was fucking awesome. They were like, there's all these different rules. I was a bit sketched out beforehand because it's like, if you do anything, you got to pay 50,000 yen, which is $500.
Or like if you get a traffic
If you fuck it
violation.
up, traffic violation or fuck the card up, have an accident, blah, 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 blah. Dude, you're on 60 Ks an hour in these
Yeah,
things.
pretty quick.
No, like, you can't drift, all that sort of shit. I saw old mate go pretty quick around the corner and I was like, I'm having so much fun. I'm just going to send it. So I've gone as fast as I can around this corner, just screaming like at all these people on the sidewalks. I was making noises. People were laughing
Taylor
and shit.
Swift's playing.
Taylor Swift's playing. I was in my Mecca, but it was such a cool experience. I really enjoyed that again. We went to Fuji the next day. I tried to, when you get told about things like, all right, Mount Fuji, obviously really popular, but like, I was like, fuck, it's a mountain. It's a volcano. It's a mountain.
They've got him in the glass house.
Yeah, I fucking see Mount
Kutha,
Glorious, Mount Kutha.
Seen that
See
shit
those
plenty
cunts
of
all the
times,
time.
Yeah.
I have never seen something that large. Like, it was so insane.
Yeah.
I think it's almost
different to Mount
I think it's
Keita.
almost 4Ks tall.
Yeah.
It was one of the coolest things I've ever seen. We got there on we caught a 6:30 bus, got out there before 9. It was phenomenal. Like, all snow capped as well.
Yep.
Got the iconic photos. We just walked around the Fuji see, fucked, mate.
3776.
Fucked. It's
Meters
actually ridiculous. Still an active volcano, just hasn't erupted for 300 years, so she's probably due. But that was such a cool day as well. Went down to like the lake. Everywhere we went was all different.
In comparison, Mount Cootha's 287 meters high.
Yeah, so just think of like it's more than 10 times the size of Cootha. Which is something you don't think about often.
No, it's not.
But it was really cool. Our last proper day, we went to this place called Kamakura, a beachside town. It was absolutely insane. Like, it was so busy. They had this giant Buddha statue that was pretty cool. One thing I found funny was they have like different lucky charms for things, and that are like religious lucky charms. They have I got one for myself and the two boys I played the pokies with the most. They have a lucky charms gambling thing, which I thought was hilarious. That
That'll
in
come
a
in handy
religion,
for sure.
Oh yeah, well it'll be the reason why I win.
Yeah, 3rd year running.
Yeah, fucking oath. But it's just like the fact that they have in a religion something like
About gambling.
and they just love it so much. Like,
Yep.
it's so funny to me. But we went to this little island down there as well, and it was like the perfect end to the trip. Like, we couldn't see Fuji because there was too many clouds that day, but we were like, fuck it, we saw it yesterday. But it's just all mountain range with this little seaside town with the sun setting and slightly shining through and waves crashing into the rocks. It was perfect.
Beautiful.
So it was so nice. Then we had like a fucking huge trip home. Went Shinkansen all the way back to Osaka. I think we did like 25 or 26 hours worth of travel.
Yeah.
My entertainment wasn't working on Jetstar
That's
for the
so
first 2
fucked.
hours, which was fucked. I
That's
kept
so
trying
fucked.
to change it, and that's all right. When you pay for entertainment on an international flight, like, that's fine if it doesn't work.
Is it though?
No, it's not. But we got it going eventually.
I would have been blowing up.
Yeah, I was pretty pissed, but these things happen. Couple of things from my time over there. Traveling. If you're a small person and you recline in a chair on a bus or a plane, you could probably go fuck yourself.
Have a look behind you.
I copped it on the bus home back from Fuji. There's a small Asian man in front of me. I let it be known silently that I wasn't happy.
What with a fart?
No, by getting my knees and jamming them as hard as I could into the back of the chair. And then over every single bump, I would thrust my knee
Up.
into it. About 5 minutes later, he took his chair back up.
Good.
So that was good. Then I fell asleep. Copped it on the plane ride back from Cairns to Brisbane yesterday. This short king in front of me did the same thing. So I just jammed my knees into
You don't
him.
need to recline Cairns to Brisbane.
On a
mate.
fucking hour and 40-minute
you
flight.
don't
What do you
need
think
that.
you're going to fucking do, mate?
Yeah.
Your fucking feet can't touch the ground and you're a
Also,
30-year-old man.
the
How
fucking-
embarrassing.
I didn't know you're flying next to Eden. Also, those chairs don't even recline properly anyway.
No.
Like, yeah.
It's not worth it.
No.
I tried to recline. I had a kid kicking my chair for the remaining 5.5 hours on the flight home from Osaka. I tried to recline that and it did nothing for me. Like,
Yep.
I didn't feel comfortable at all. But convenience stores over there, for anyone who's going over, my big suggestions are obviously tick off the foods you want to eat. But if you want to do it on a budget, the convenience stores, you can buy any meal there. They can heat up in the microwave.
Sensational.
Which is really cool. Egg sandwiches are elite. The fucking fammy chicken and the fried chicken, all that sort of shit. I don't even know if it's fried, but it's just
Yum.
delicious.
Yeah.
It was such a cool trip. Like, one of the fucking sickest experiences I've done. Best thing is we can go back and do so much.
Yeah, still so much to do. I've never heard anyone say a bad thing about Japan.
No.
Yeah, everyone's always said the
People
same
are
thing.
lovely.
Yep. We're gonna have to get you to get me some more of this chocolate because I've just polished both of those.
Yeah,
off
they're
while
good.
we're
Hey,
sitting
what do
here.
you reckon the better one was?
Well, I was gonna try and save one and eat them blind to compare them because I couldn't decide. But I think this one.
Okay, interesting. I haven't had the Dars one yet.
Oh, you could have had one. Fuck.
No,
I
I've
just
got
ate-
some at
Oh,
home.
okay, sweet. I just ate the whole packet.
I just got obsessed with Melty Kiss because it was so accessible.
It was nice. The packaging as well.
Yeah.
So cool.
It's just they've thought about everything, haven't
They
they?
really have.
They really
look,
have.
Look on here. I was wondering what this little bit here was for. You know what it's for? So
Tuck
when
it
you
back
open
in.
it, yep, keeps the lid
Yeah,
down.
it's fucking crazy.
Sensational.
So yeah, all in all, perfect trip. Fucking great. Had a lot of fun. Bought a lot of dumb shit, but I'm happy I did.
Yeah, that's what you do on holidays.
I think I bought. I had a few people message me. Caleb Campbell was one of them. He's like, "Oh, if you're going back through Tokyo, they've got a Pikachu exclusive plushie at the airport." I was like, "Unfortunately, I'm not, but I have also bought the 3 exclusives from one store, the 2 exclusives from Kyoto, the exclusive from the cafe, and the exclusives from a bunch of other ones. I think I'm now the
Exclusive,
owner
yeah.
of like 9 Pikachu plushies."
Someone's got to buy them.
Yeah, exactly. But no, it was fucking awesome.
You managed to fit all of that in an hour and a half, so that's pretty good for a 20 no longer.
Yeah,
Or 20
I
days.
tried to once I heard we were 50 minutes in, I was like, "Fuck, we got."
Yeah, I had a great break too. Thanks, mate. Thanks for asking.
Yeah. What did you do?
No, nothing good. We'll save it for another time. Nothing like that. Seriously, fucking fuck all.
It was good, but like as I said at the start, I was so lucky that Caitlin pre-planned everything, and like obviously you need to do that. So I'm just not good at that. I would have looked at something eventually, but you need someone to capitalize on the time because we'd go out at probably leave 8 or 9 o'clock each morning. We'd
Yep.
leave the hotel to start heading to wherever we were. I think if you want to maximize what you're doing, you do the temples before everything opens.
Yep.
If you're really that hungry, grab something from a convenience store because they're everywhere. I started my day with a coffee every day for $1.20 from a fucking vending machine, and it was hot.
Delightful.
Like, and it's because those Suntory ones we get here, the
Yeah,
Boss
yeah.
cans.
Yeah.
It was just like all of those, but
Yeah.
like all different branding and shit, and they cost $1.20.
Yeah, so
And you get 1 or 2 shots of coffee in them. Like, why the fuck wouldn't you drink them?
yeah, I can't think
was-
of
it was so
single-
good.
Maybe
So-
diarrhea, but other than that,
Yeah. Biggest thing I reckon, maximize. We as I said, left 8 or 9 o'clock every morning. We'd probably go to bed at 1 a.m. So we're getting 6 or 7 hours of sleep. But it
Just
was
jam-packing
fucking
the
just
rest of the
jam pack everything in. Like it was so
and
much
try
fun.
the pocket pussy. Obviously,
Yeah, well, that's in the.
goes without saying.
It goes without saying.
Like if you do that much stuff, like spend
Yeah.
that many hours awake, you're gonna eventually run out
Yeah.
of things to do and try the pocket pussy.
The Apple Watch was really giving me some good numbers. I forgot to wear it
Steps and
today,
stuff,
so it's
yeah.
gonna hate me. But
That happens.
yeah, it was fucking great time.
Anyway, we'll be back tomorrow with Jack Cronin.
Yes, we
for the
will.
sports show. We haven't done one of them in a long time with the Crow Dog.
Very excited.
So looking forward to it. We'll see you then.
Bye for now.
Farewell.